Hi, I'm Kinkas and I'm a synth DIY guy. Welcome to my demo of the Nonlinear Circuits Resonate module. A really cool 4-band resonator inspired by the Korg PS3100 Resonator circuit. Let's get right to it. Alright, so without further ado, this is the Resonate module from Nonlinear Circuits in Australia. It's a really cool quad resonator. It's 4 vactrol based bandpass filters that you can control their frequency either via the knob or via CV inputs right here. And I want to start with a patch that I made this morning that I didn't want to take it down because I love it. So I'm going to start showing you this patch, just one possibility that the module affords us, and then I'll unpatch and show you more clinically the kinds of sounds that you can get out of it. This is a hi-hat patch, so I'm sending the Resonate a noise from my Erica Synths modulator, and I'm also sending to the CV input number 1 a sequencer, the Lizard as a sequencer, and the clock from the Lizard's getting split and going to many different things. One of them is the contour generator on my no coast, and also a sample and hold on the multi-waves. So the random voltage from the multi-waves is varying the length of the decay on the contour, and the contour is controlling the VCA. So basically it's a hi-hat sound where the white noise is being filtered. The resonator's frequencies are being modulated by a sequencer, and the length of the decay of each hi-hat hit is being controlled by a random voltage. So that's what that sounds like. I freaking love it. So to that I added a kick drum from my TR-808 clone up here. And there's also a snare from the braids. Right there is a really fat beat. Let's play around a little bit. Let me send the LFO to frequency number 4 of the Resonate. So now 3 of the frequencies are being controlled by the sequencer, and 1 is being controlled by kind of a fastish sine wave LFO from my sine bank. Now let's send another one. Let's send like a slowish LFO to frequency 3. That's pretty cool too. You get lots of variance. Now I've got another sequencer here in random mode. Let's send that one to frequency number 2. Pretty cool. Lots you can do to a hi-hat sound using the Resonate. And I can, if I bring up the resonance, it starts to whistle. There you go. That's pretty cool sound too. Super nice. Let's make that attack a little bit slower. Can be cool too. So let's take out the patch and just hear what the module sounds like without being in the context of a patch. All right. We'll send one of the outputs of the Resonate to the oscilloscope. And as you can see on my oscilloscope, the output is drifting down towards the negative rail, or maybe the positive. Yeah, that's the negative rail because that's output 1, which is not inverted. So that's the fix that I still need to do. Let's add the capacitor to get it to not do that. Right now I can just move some of the knobs here and it'll kind of jump right back to 0. Once I'm modulating it, then it just stays centered. And that's not going to happen to everybody's Resonate. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, and it won't be on every frequency. But yeah, I still need to fix that. All right, so let's just send it a white noise. And let's listen to sweeping each band and sort of build a sound. There you go. This is band 1, frequency 1. That's a bandpass filter. I can add resonance to it and it gets more whistly, more like polar. The resonance is global. It affects all 4 frequency bands. So I can sort of build almost like a chord. Some bands resonate a little more than others. I tried to fix that some by changing the summing resistors for some bands, and it definitely got better. But yeah, you can just dial it down if it gets crazy. Now, those are 4 bands at different frequency ranges, which is definitely a different effect. There you go. Just a little bit less resonance there. Definitely a different effect than just a single filter. It's 4 of them. You can really shape tones that way. Now if I send like my joystick, for example, to the input 1, I'll move. Check that out. That's pretty cool. Let's add some delay to that. So you can really hear each of the 4 bands sweeping. Now if I stick that into input 2, band 1 will stay steady, and I'm modulating the other 3 bands, 2, 3, and 4. They're normaled in cascading fashion. And then if I stick it on 3, you get 2 fixed and 2 moving. If I stick it on to 4, I'll only modulate 4. Let's try something cool. I'm gonna send the square wave from the lizard to a multiple, and I'm gonna trigger 3 different sequencers from the same clock and create separate sequences and send them each to one input, CV input of the Resonate. There we go. Put the lizard that's up here in an external clock. And now let's plug those outputs into the inputs here. So here's one sequencer. Here's another sequencer. And here's another one. I'm gonna send like a slow LFO to that one. You get one sweeping frequency. Alrighty. You can also manually bring down some of these frequencies. Make it whistle more, a little more resonance. And it's vactrol based, so the response is a little bit not super snappy, which is cool. It makes a very organic sounding, a very cool sound. So what happens if instead of white noise I use like a pulse wave from an oscillator? Nice. That's pretty badass. Alright, let's remove all these sequencers from the inputs. and we'll send to the one input that's controlling them all. Yeah, let's bring down that resonance a little bit. And I can emphasize different harmonics of that square wave. Send that to the joystick. How about if I send that to a rampage as a looping envelope generator? Attenuate that envelope a little bit and bring some of those frequencies down some. That's pretty badass. Now that deserves a little bit of reverb and a little bit of delay. That's pretty cool. How about a saw wave from a different oscillator? Let's take the saw wave from the even VCO. It's almost voice-like. I wouldn't be surprised if you somehow could patch a sort of a formant filter with this thing. What about sending one of the frequencies, sending it like audio rate, a triangle? There you go. So I'm sending frequency 2 an audio rate triangle. How about a saw from, there you go, saw from the teaser right here. Triangle instead. Oh, cool, so I have that rampage envelope going. Let's make that rampage go faster too. Now what if I send those to not the first but the second and third bands, and then grab that first band with the joystick again so I can sort of sweep it. Alright, let's make these LFOs a little slower again. Pretty badass. Let's send a sequence to that even VCO. Make it lower. And we'll take that clock, square wave, send that to an envelope generator so we can modulate the VCA too. So instead of sending that straight to a channel, we'll send it to the hex mix VCA. And we'll trigger Erica Synth's envelope generator and then send that to the VCA. Wow, that sounds so cool. Now you can see that. There you go. Start getting that offset again. I moved band 4. Alright, let's bring down that resonance a little bit. Let's send that initial frequency a slow LFO. Maybe not that slow. Ah, that's pretty spacey. That sounds pretty badass if you ask me. Nice. Let's try that white noise now. Make the envelope a little shorter. A little more resonance. Ah, so cool. You can ping it too. Let's get it to sound continuously. And instead of sending it white noise, we'll send it a slow saw LFO. There you go. So now I'm pinging it. This time, instead of sending the sequence to an oscillator, I'll send it to the resonator itself. That sounds like drops and stuff. It's really cool because it's vactrol based, so it's got that kind of boucle low pass gate type response. Let's listen to that clean. Now if I leave the resonance down, then you just get this sort of snap. But with the resonance up, you ping that resonance. I'm not even using a VCA right now. Let's get a little reverb back in there. Very cool. Now, of course, if I add too much resonance, then it'll stay resonating. But if I have it dialed down, it'll only resonate whenever it receives a pulse. Very wet sounding, very drippity droppity. Make it slower, just by slowing down that the LFO I'm using as an exciter. Sounds like somebody drinking a Coca-Cola in the 70s. And here's a shout out to Suzanne Ciani. There we go. This is starting to sound like a monster talking. Somebody singing. Interplanetary, galactic, intergalactic, planetary. Yeah. I'm sure if I tweak this more, I could get into formant filter territory here. Very vocal sounding. But yeah, I think this is enough for this demo. I'm really happy with the Resonate. I hope you are too if you got one. It's absolutely super cool to have in your system. Now that I have it, I can't live without it. So if you like the video, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, join our Patreon, and stay noisy.
Wow.